We witnessed surge in soya prices for last 18 months, and the same trend is appearing in maize. Maize is one of the most important crop across the globe. It ensures food security in most of the developing nations. In India, maize is the third important crop after wheat and paddy. The importance of maize can be analyzed by its application. For example, application in food industry, feed, ethanol production, starch and other industrial production. Corn prices surge in current days is due to a large gap in demand and supply. Mitigating the risk of price volatility can be achieved by understanding the fundamental factors of maize production and its demand. You are watching millTALK. I am Sarvar Ali from Kemin. Indian agriculture mainly depends on southwest monsoon. Like any other crop, maize is also having seasonality. Maize is having two seasons, Kharif and Rabi. Kharif contributes around 3/4 of the total maize production in India, whereas the Rabi has its own advantage over Kharif, like low moisture in corn and low infestation of pests and weeds. Price of any commodity is function of demand and supply. If you look at the maize production, global production is around 1040 million metric ton. Here China and United States contribute around 60% of the total production, whereas India annually producing 24 to 25 million metric ton, which is equivalent to 2% of global production. Indian maize production depends on various factors. For example, monsoon and irrigation facility, government policy on minimum support price, technological intervention, and suitable competitive crop. Domestic production of corn in India is approximately 25 million metric ton. 2/3 of the maize is coming from Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Bihar. Technological intervention is very high in Indian seed industry for varietal development, for quality production. If you look at maize, hybridization is one of the key parameter or key driving factor in corn production. Hybridization percentage varies from 23% to 100%. In some states like Bihar and Tamil Nadu, you will find that 100% hybridization, whereas the other states like Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan and Gujarat, you will find somewhere 25% to 40% is hybridization. Minimum support price from government is another important aspect which influence sentiment of farmer. Farmer are happy with the high MSP. If you look at 2017 to 2022, MSP for maize has increased by 31% approximately. In 2017-18, MSP for maize was 1425 rupees per quintal, whereas in 2021-22, MSP has increased to 1870 rupees per quintal. Acreages for corn production get influenced by competitive crop like wheat and rice. But farmer prefers to grow corn. There are two reasons for that. One is yield is high, another is water consumption is less. Growing corn is one of the sustainable form of Indian cropping system. Price is the function of supply and demand. Up to now, we saw supply side and various factors which influencing the supply of corn. Now look at the demand side. 47% of corn is consumed in poultry feed, whereas the 13% is consumed in cattle feed. Whereas the food processing and direct food consumption has also have significant role. If you look at the last 5 years CAGR of maize consumption, it grown by 11%, whereas the feed industry is growing by 6%. It means consumption of corn also increased in other industry in a significant way. Domestic export price of corn is also influenced by export. India is exporting approximately 2.8 to 3 million metric ton of corn annually, and major importing nations are Bangladesh, Nepal, and Vietnam. It depends on two factors. One is the depreciating value of INR against USD, and second is FOB prices. India is having competitive FOB prices currently compared to United States and Argentina. Domestic price of corn is also influenced by consumption in other industry. For example, in starch industry, consumption of corn is approximately 14%, which is huge. Another important factor is ethanol policy of India. In 2018, blending of corn in ethanol was 5%, whereas in 2021 it is increased to 8.5%. Price volatility is quite evident in case of corn. We have witnessed for January to March there is a significant increase in corn prices. The prices has increased up to 2400 per quintal. This depends on the factor which we have discussed. It depends on the demand side, it depends on the supply side. Now the biggest question in front of feed manufacturer is how to mitigate the risk of price volatility. It depends on informed decision. If you have to look at the fundamental factors. If you look at the price sensitivity analysis which is presented over here, you will find that in the month of May, usually the prices get dropped, and in the month of November, the prices are in the bottom. So these are the 2 months where the seasonal bottoms. Although it is a historical data, but on the basis of this historical data, we can make our decision, or we can make an informed decision. The second challenge is that how you will store it. Because the maize, when coming in high moisture percentage, then storage can be a challenge when you are storing in warehouse or when you are storing in silo. So is the silo enough for storage? This question we have to ask. 5 to 7% of the maize produced in India is lost due to improper storage. But if we are going with the scientific method for storage either in silo or warehouse, you can minimize your losses from 0.5% to 1%. I hope you enjoyed this session. We will come up with our next video based on grain management in silo. Until then, take care. Goodbye.